I think it's to stay independent, to have this freedom to create everything I want to create, to be totally free. It's just my inspiration, my creative process, and yeah, to be free to develop future projects.
Hey Raúl.
Hey, how are you? Welcome. It's a pleasure to welcome you.
Amazing.
So please have a seat. We can chat a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me into your beautiful home. And so you were just playing the guitar, right? Is this one of your passions?
Yeah, I really enjoy from maybe 12. I was 12, I started playing guitar.
Wow.
And I'm still enjoying playing a little bit to relax. It's part of my creative process. It helps me to create things.
Yeah, one of many. I mean, it's very apparent from just the design of your home, right? I mean, clearly design is such an important part of your life. Who are your biggest inspirations?
Like you say, my passions is, of course, music, art. I like design, architecture, and I have a lot of influence. Actually, I grew up close to La Chaux-de-Fonds. There's a famous architect called Le Corbusier.
Of course.
He was born in La Chaux-de-Fonds, he grew up here, and it's part of my inspiration, especially for RP1.
Yeah.
We are lucky to have a house part of this inspiration, because
amazing.
The architect who built the house was the teacher of Le Corbusier.
Oh,
in La
wow.
Chaux-de-Fonds.
So it's really intertwined. And I know the color as well of the RP1 subdial, right? That's inspired by Le Corbusier. And so, I mean, I think that's also partly what was so refreshing about your watch. I mean, it's taking a very avant-garde design, respecting the past, but also looking into the future at the same time. And so, no wonder you won the LV Watch Prize. Very, very 100% well-deserved. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
And so, how has your life changed? How has, the trajectory of your brand changed since that?
The trajectory, in fact, I don't think it changed, because I already had a clear vision of what I want to do. But of course, it changed a lot with the visibility of my brand. A lot of people heard about me, about my work. In the past, before the prize, I think it was more very passionate collectors who knew me, and right now there's much more lot of people. And of course, it's a huge recognition of my work. All the past years, also I work in watchmaking, and it's amazing for me.
So why don't you talk about that? How was it like in the beginning compared to now? Was it very different? I remember.
Yeah, very difficult.
So tell me a bit about that. How you were a one-man show. I mean, very rarely today in the watchmaking world, you're the movement designer, the watchmaker, the creator, and you make everything on the watch. That doesn't usually happen today. It's usually suppliers and all of this. And so how was that like in the beginning? Did you feel like you were part of a dying breed and you needed to kind of, move this space forward? Like, what was the inspiration of being a one-man show?
I think I didn't think at all about this thing. I was quite crazy and naive, I think, because I just wanted to create things and by myself and to be totally free. That's why I leave my work at Parmigiani and I started to create the automaton tortoise. And I say I was naive because the market for this kind of objects at this time it was nothing. I had no contact with journalists, with collectors, with retailers. And that's why I think it was difficult for me at the beginning. Was lucky to still have a restoration. So I was working a lot with the restoration for private collectors or for museums. And it helps me to pay the bills and to continue to develop future projects. Then I made the Soberly Onyx watch. It was difficult because during the day I was working to pay the bills to make restoration, and during the night I was developing my first watch. So it was a lot of work, of course.
And all at home, basically. right, at your home, where we were last time I visited you
Yeah,
a few
exactly.
years ago.
Yeah.
And so how was that like? How was the work-life balance, living and working in the same place? Was that tough?
It was lots of advantages and also some bad things.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's difficult, like I said, to put a clear separation with the work and private life. Then I think I had a rhythm. I work during a normal day time, and then I pass family time with my wife and daughter. When it's time to go to bed, I'm still continuing to developing the future watches.
Well, it's clearly paid off tremendously. And so I think, your journey is very inspiring for, the next generation of watchmakers. And I think they would really like to know what's one piece of advice you would give them when starting out their own brand.
To stay clear with your vision and not move, not listen to, because a lot of people have different advices. You can make this watch like this, you can make this watch like this.
Yeah.
And if you listen to everybody, it's impossible to create a watch. So you got to stay clear of what you want to do, to persist,
Persistence.
I think if you are honest, if you are doing a good job, it will pay one day.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, that's great advice.
Here we are.
Nice.
We are at the workshop, and it changed a little bit with the last time you came, because we moved with Nathalie the private parts in La Chaux-de-Fonds.
Yeah.
And right now I'm making some renovation in the building.
Nice.
To expand a little bit the workshop.
Amazing. So let's see where all the magic happens.
So as you can see, there's a lot of different machines here. I really enjoy to work with traditional machines. It's an important part for me to still using manual machines for decorations, for polishing the pinions, for making Côte de Genève or soleillage. Yeah, it's important, I think, to have a transmission of the know-how for the future generation, and that's why I'm still using this kind of machines.
I love it. And I guess you're keeping a lot of these traditions alive, otherwise they might get lost, right? And we need more people like you in the industry, essentially, to keep this traditional savoir-faire and know-how alive. And maybe tell me a little bit about your detente escapement. I mean, that's something that is notoriously difficult to make, yet you manage to do it not only by hand, but using these traditional tools. So tell me a little bit, why the detente escapement?
Yeah. In fact, it came with a restoration, because I restore a lot of pocket watches or clocks from the past. And I really enjoy to restore this kind of pocket watches with a very technical detente escapement. And it was a challenge, because of course I knew it was very difficult for the shocks resistance for this escapement. And I find a very old patent with a special system to avoid this problem with the shocks. And but I never seen a real piece with this system. So I decided to starting developing and take the challenge to put it in the wristwatch.
Well, it's paid off tremendously as well.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. It's a huge work to adjust all the spring, the different functions of the escapement, but once it's adjusted, it's working really, really well.
Incredible. How do you plan to make the most out of the LV Watch Prize money? Do you plan on using the mentorship program, or are you going to hire more people? What's the plan?
Yes, we are already working with Louis Vuitton and La Fabrique du Temps to organize in which topics I want to have some help from them. And of course, it helped me a lot to producing a little bit more faster my projects. Of course, the deliveries of the RP1, and also to focus on the future projects.
Amazing.
It's a very big boost to accelerate the development of my next projects.
Amazing, and it's an incredible initiative for independent watchmakers around the world, right?
Yeah, it's a huge recognition of independent watchmakers, what we done, and yeah, it's amazing.
So what is your ultimate goal for your brand?
I think it's to stay independent.
Yeah.
And to have this freedom to create everything I want to create, to be totally free, no pressure. It's just my inspiration, my creative process, and yeah, to be free to develop future projects. And I already have a lot of ideas, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I can't wait to see what the future holds for your brand. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you very much, Austin. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.